Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. We've got Mark Mackay here today, a Cheltenham chat. Um, yeah, I mean, I only started videos last year there, and I'm not aware of anybody else that's made like 7 years profit in a row at Cheltenham. Um, I'm only in a little box here, you're in a big box, Mark.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's okay. I think it should come up together, but hopefully it'll be fine.
Yeah,
We are, we we're not the technical guys with all the knowledge, but hopefully we have the knowledge on the racing, and that's what we need, rather than the technical skills that the others have got.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Had a bit of laugh today getting it all set up.
Yeah,
Um, I
only
think,
took us 40 minutes.
yeah. Right, these are going to be 40-minute videos, I think, anyway, and we're going to have four of them. We'll preview each day as we go, so we'll start with the first day there. Um, Maybe we're a little bit far out, aren't we, Mark? So, do you know, we won't be getting maybe such solid selections at the prices now, but we'll just give our thoughts on where we are at the minute, and hopefully,
Yeah, we're recording on Saturday morning, the 1st of March. So yeah, we'll just give our thoughts from the 1st of March and what we would back at the moment and how we're thinking at the moment on each of the races. But we'll go through the main races first and the handicaps at the end of each video.
right. So, what you thinking with Supreme then, Mark?
Well, I
Is
do think that Kopi De Bourgh's got the best form, but the prices at the moment, I couldn't be recommending people to be backing an 8 to 11 shot in the first at Cheltenham now. I would possibly be waiting for the next little while for some without markets and perhaps looking at a horse like Work Ahead or William Manny in the without market because I'm not so keen on Salvatore Mandi, which sort of knocks out what would be the favourite in the without market. So I would be looking at Work Ahead, whose form has worked out incredibly well, really, with William Manny was second, Sprint de la Mare, Jacob's Ladder, all those horses have won since. So I'd be possibly looking at Work Ahead as a possible each way bet, 10 to 1. You're only getting 2 to 1 the place. And if Kopic de Board's as good as we think, then you're losing your win stake. So I'd possibly be waiting to maybe back Work Ahead or William Manny in the without market rather than like if someone said, what's going to win the Supreme, I would say Kopic de Board.
yeah,
But would I tell him to back it at 8 to 11 or 4 to 5?
yeah,
No, I probably wouldn't.
yeah,
What about you?
yeah. I get that. I agree with you on this completely. I think it's them three are the ones I'd be focusing on. They're all tying in, aren't they, with the same sort of form lines there.
Yeah,
Um, I think Kopek to me, yeah. Kopek to boards, sorry. Getting muddled up
yeah.
with Magic Horse. Kopek to boards.
Yeah, I mean, his form is. I don't know how you feel about his form. I know that you liked Carnegie for a handicap, but if you look at the list of horses he's beaten, he's done it in an incredible style, but are they really that good, the ones he's beaten in that race at the DLF? Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the way he did it, though, isn't it, Mark? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, you just have to believe your eyes sometimes. He'd be one of my most confident bets of the meeting, Kopek to boards. And what happens if I press this? I've moved to the side now.
all right.
Right, yeah. He'd be one of my most confident bets of the meeting. I think, yeah, you're right about the price. I wouldn't be recommending anyone goes out take odds on now. But there's a lot of clever guys about, that are going to be, because you know, he got a bit hyped up, didn't he, before his race? And, there's a big thing about, oh, will he boil over or not? So way I'm looking at it, I think you'll get a better price on the day anyway, just because you will. It's the first race, so I think you'll get evens or better
Yeah,
on the day. And I reckon if he kind of looks a bit fractious going down and in the paddock and stuff, you'll have a lot of these clever guys sort of laying bets back and trying to lay the guy and get him. The bookies will be trying to get him. Maybe if he boils over a bit before the start, the price he could drift out to sort of twos or something around that. And
yeah,
then I'd just back him because I'm not bothered about that. I think like he did all that the last day,
yeah, and
and it
still
didn't
one.
stop him, did it? You know, and I
No,
don't think it'll stop him again. I think as long as he kind of travels over and eats well and stuff, so maybe you might get a bit of vibes about that the day before,
yeah,
like, you know. But as long as he's okay over there and he's took in the travelling and he's eating up and stuff, he's not losing weight. I wouldn't be too concerned if he's sort of playing up a bit before the race myself.
yeah.
I'd just back him again at a better price, like, you know.
No, he's looked a monster. I mean, the race he won at Christmas, to do all those things wrong and still beat a good horse is, it was exceptional performance. It's just the price, I think, is too short. I mean, if he was like 7-4, I'd say back and eight to
Yeah,
eleven. No, not so keen. He's one of only he's in the only bet I've put up so far this season, but
yeah,
that was at 11-8, also getting a good price on final demand. But now at the shorter price, I couldn't recommend people going at that sort of price. Not this far out. I
no,
couldn't.
no. But could you see you getting a better price on the day, though, do you think?
I think you'll definitely get a better price on the day because the bookmakers, I mean, we say it is like it is, Steve. The bookmakers know that even if they give money away in the first race, they've got 27 races at Cheltenham to get it back in the
Yeah,
handicaps and all those sort of races. So they're not really bothered if they get beat on the first favourite, and especially one as short as this. So they're going to take it on. And if they lose, they're going to expect to get the money back. And they're going to keep that Panther interested for the whole meeting now because he's got some money to play with. And they know that they'll get it back. So they're going to take that favourite on, I think. Then you'll get over evens, I think, on the
yeah,
morning of the race. It's just the shrewd people will try and back it and keep it, whereas the other Panthers are going to back it and then they're going to give it back during the rest of the day on the Boodles and races like that. And
yeah,
that's why they'll take it on.
yeah. I think I think the other thing really is like they ran on the same card, didn't they? Workhead and
Yeah,
they ran a very similar time, didn't they?
yeah, exact time. I think when I checked, it's exact same time. But then, of course, Work Ahead did everything correctly, jumped beautifully, ran, a perfect race, got picture forward at every hurdle and jumped to the left every hurdle. So you just,
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. So, although like Henry's fantastic, I'd imagine he'll get more improvement again out of Worker at his likely race.
yeah,
I think, like you said, with the amount he did wrong there, I think he improved hugely from that run, and I think he can improve again. Like so, and I think you're right. I think sort of Workhead, William Money, they're sort of setting the bar there for him. So I think he's going to win this well. Like
yeah. I think he should. People will say, why are we probably against Salvatore Mandi and Romeo Coolio? I actually looked back at one of my videos from the end of last season, all three winners of the novice hurdles, none of them ran at Cheltenham the year before.
no,
So that's quite a strange thing. Normally, you would expect them to have festival form, but last season, none of them had festival form. And although Romeo Coolio was second in the Bumper and Salvatore Mandi ran in the Triumph, they both, Romeo Coolio, if he hadn't run in the Royal Bond, I would have been probably very keen. But that run really worried me about. I don't know what went wrong there. I'm not sure how solid his form is. I liked Blue Devassi earlier in the season, but he got thrashed at the DRF. And Salvatore Mendes never really convinced me. So, yeah, I do think it is Kopi De Bourgh work ahead, William Money. That's the three that I would have. But I think Kopi De Bourgh is well clear. It's just the price is already too poor.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we're kind of in agreement with that race, then,
Yeah,
aren't we? There, you know.
yeah,
Right. So then, Arkle.
yeah. Earlier in the season, I was really keen on Novices. That was before the big guns came out. I feel now that Marchborough is a extremely strong favourite. I didn't like Lodesid's last run. Um,
No.
I know the way he ran the race wasn't probably efficient, but I just didn't like his finishing. And I felt he got a hard race when he didn't need a hard race. He could have won that quite easily if he'd taken it up on the final bend and just run in the straight. He's taken it up too far out, and he's sort of emptied from the last, and he's only just hung on. I think Mansfield well ahead of him, and I just feel like at the moment we've lost the race we should have had with Sergino. We
Yeah,
should have had a great race. I think Mansfield, I would find it very hard to take him on, and I think he might even get a worse price. I think he might go to 2 to 5
yeah.
because I don't see anything beating him here.
No, no. It's yeah. There's not a lot to say about the races they had. You know, you can't really recommend betting him at that price, and
No,
you don't really want to take him on either. I mean, I personally, I'd have been more confident taking odds on Sergino with Magsbury in the race than I would be about taking odds on with Magsbury
yeah,
right now. And that's purely on account of his jumping, I think. I know all the stats lads say his jumping's fantastic, but just me watching the race last time, my heart went in my mouth a little bit watching it, like,
yeah,
whereas Sergino's just bang on, like, he just didn't miss a beat, did
yeah.
he? But
No,
he's,
I mean it's a race I'm sort of. I just don't really have much of a view now because before I thought it was going to be a fantastic race. We've been robbed of that, really. I feel we've been robbed of the race we should have had because of Sergino's injury, and I think Marchborough will win. But you're not telling anyone anything by saying that for a 47 shot. He's won the Triumph after one run on the track in England, or in Ireland, and I wouldn't want to backload the suit against him. So it's sort of a race that I don't really have a betting view in now because
yeah,
I would feel I would walk away from that race at the moment now.
yeah,
Um,
that's fair. I'd be the same, really.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't really see an angle into that. But yeah, he's some horse Smagsborough, and he should be taking this out. Um, so the mare's hurdle. Then we don't really know what's running here yet, do we? Really?
well, I know what I want to run, and I don't want brighter days ahead or Lossingmouth in it, if I'm honest. I feel sort of I can't see. I personally, if I owned either horse, Lossingmouth or Brighter Days Ahead, I would feel I had a chance in the champion, and
Yeah,
I would have to go for it because I'm not convinced by Constitution Hill that I just can't see how he can be as good as he was. So he can be close, but he can't be the one that beat John Bond after all these like having colic and these slight injuries. He can't be the one that beat John Bond and won that champion hurdle against Stateman. He can be nearly that horse, but he can't quite be that horse.
yeah,
He was invincible then, I think. Only a fall would beat him in that form.
yeah,
I would feel getting £7 if I owned Lossymouth or Brighter Days Ahead. I would feel I would have to go. I would feel I've got a chance. I'd have to go for the champion hurdle,
yeah,
especially Lossymouth. I mean, she's won a mares. She has nothing to lose. She's nothing to prove in the mares, so she has to go to the champion for me. So saying that. Jade De Bourgh and July Flower both look good. I'm a bit biased because I like Jade De Bourgh. She didn't do herself justice last season. I think I think maybe they've not been quite telling us all the truth about Jade De Bourgh. I think this was always the plan. I think this was always the plan to just have a quick run. It wasn't the plan to have the race so late
Yeah,
because obviously that Punchestown meeting was delayed. But I think this was always the plan to just run her once and then run her at Cheltenham. She'll have a massive chance. I liked her run. A lot of people have crabbed that run in the Quirega. I liked it. I thought she was good. She was giving a lot of weight away, and I thought she finished really strong. And the win against Spindlebury as well is strong. So
yeah,
July Flowers obviously quite strong as well. But I wouldn't say to bet yet because you can't in case one of these others defect. You can't say back Jade De Bourgh now because if Brighter Days Ahead or Lost Time Out ran, you're virtually, you've taken half the price you could have had. So, but I think it's between those two. Do you see Joyous coming in here, or would
possibly,
you?
possibly. I don't know. I think, like I mentioned in my last video, it's hard enough to predict what the horses are going to do, but predicting
Mm,
what these trainers and connections are going to do is harder. I like Joyous, I do. I thought a jumping last time were just absolutely on point. She jumped like a champion hurdler, so I think there's a lot more to come from her. I do.
mm.
I think we're only scratching the surface with her. I'd fear her if she turned up. I would.
Oh, I would see that.
I'd give her a good shout if we see that. I don't know. I'd rather not, to be honest. But
No, I don't want to see her in there.
if she comes here, I think she's got to be respected. Um, yeah, July Flower, Henry de Bromhead. You got to respect. I'd throw Carla Conti in there. I thought
Yeah,
that day I did actually back Carla Conti, and I just think they went too quick up front, and she were giving July Flower a bit of weight.
yeah,
I think she'll be roundabout wherever July Flower is. If Carla Conti comes here too, I'd say she won't be far away. But like you, I like Jade de Bourgh. She, followed her through last season. I thought she looked a bit rusty. I thought Paul looked a bit busy with his hands through the race, but she was
yeah,
entitled to that. And like I say, just I like the way she finishes the races. I think, I've heard a couple of people say she's, almost question her stamina. I think she's a real stayer, she hits the line well. She did well against Spindlebury last year in that grade one at Fairyhouse. She weren't really going travelling through the race. I think it came a couple of weeks after a run at Cheltenham, and I don't
mhm,
think she won it that day. But I loved how she got it done. She put her head down and she showed a lot of guts there, and she stays well. So yeah, I do like Jade de Bourgh. I think she deserves to be favourite, and she'll take a bit of beating here, But it's she's got some dangerous opponents. I think it's maybe it'll be a bit more open than the betting suggests if the top two do come out.
yeah.
I can see her being like 6-4 or something, maybe even closer to evens, and I'm not sure she'd be quite deserving to be that short.
No, I think she should be around 2-1, 9-4.
Yeah,
Even without those two, I think she
yeah,
should be around that price. The thing I can't get out of my head now, I know you shouldn't be listening to Ruby Walsh and those guys, but last season, when everyone was going on about Brighter Days Ahead and how brilliant she was, they were still really bullish that Jade de Gruchy would give her, they were still bullish, the Malinshard.
yeah.
That made me think she's very good. And she's not lost any of her ability. So I think, and the win against Spindlebury, to win that race off such a short break from Cheltenham and what Spindlebury's done this season already, I think she's quite good. And I think they do rate her quite highly in the Malinshard. So, because they were confident last season of beating Brighter Days Ahead, they had to have thought she was something fairly decent. And yeah, but I wouldn't take a sharp price on her because she's had a short enough turnaround from Punchestown to come in here. So I do like her. I hope she wins it, but I wouldn't take a sharp price
No,
on
yeah,
her at all. I wouldn't
yeah,
want to be going in at under 2-1.
no,
No, no.
yeah, yeah, right, yeah. That's fair. What do you think of Joyce anyway?
I thought Joyce was pretty spectacular in the Betfair, well, the William Hill hurdle, but it's 4 furlongs further, and
Yeah,
she got beaten by Wood, who over 2 miles forward. So, but you never know with these Henderson horses. He's got them so well handicapped. She could, because she was only off what one, is it 125 in that race? I think she's
yes,
gone up to 137 or something like that now. So, yeah, I think she's got a chance if she comes in here. But they're quite careful. Well, you see, I do think JP's going to have a great festival. So I don't
yeah,
know. sort of, I'd feed her. She'd be a big worry if she came in here. July Flower's going to have a great chance because the Bromhead's got a special record in this race.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, he's
yeah,
had Tanny's called in. He had Tell Me Something girl who would have won it and got brought down. And then she ran a brilliant race last season. I mean, you take Lossiemouth out, she's thrashed the rest of them there last season. And he
yeah,
had the third and fourth as well, so he's got a great record in it. You can't dismiss July Flower. That was a good performance as well. It's a tight looking race. It's the sort of race I know that you've backed J. De Brugy at 20s, and that's a great bet. But I wouldn't want to be on at 2-1, but
no,
you'd be fighting to get on if you got 5-1 or 4-1. But
yeah,
no, I wouldn't take it for 2-1. I'd like to see the makeup of the field,
yeah,
really, make sure these others don't go first, and then see what does run.
yeah. Okay, that's fair. Right, we have you got any thoughts on? Well, if we do the other races now, there's what would be the Ultima. You got any thoughts on that yet?
Oh, I thought you'd want to do the champion.
Oh yeah, yeah, there is that one, isn't there? Yeah. Oh then,
I don't have a massive view. I know that you talked about it for a while last Monday.
yeah.
Uh, do you think Constitution Hill is as good as he was?
No, I don't. That's my gut feeling. But he might not have to be. That's the thing,
No.
because he was that good, weren't he?
Yeah.
Um, I can see this from all sides. Any time I say anything bad about constitutional, I get slated. Like it's like sacrilege almost. But you have to look at it kind of cold. And from the beginning of the season, I just thought there's no way you could play this source anti-post.
Yeah.
You know, with his getting his troubles, but it's testament really to Nicky Henderson, just what a trainer he is. That we're getting to the point now where I'm sort of thinking, Jesus, he might just blow these away, At the time when I saw him in the Christmas hurdle, I thought this isn't the same constitutional, and I'd like watched that, and then I watched him in the Christmas hurdle before, and I thought he's just not the same from like two out to the line like he were. But I think I'm starting to wonder now if Nicky's just like really started at a low point with his horse and he's just building and building all the way. And he's he's maybe got like one really big day in him. He can tighten the screws maybe once without it all falling apart on him. And he might just have him there like, on the day. And if he is, and I'll backed against him. I'll be glad to see it. As a racing fan, we like to see these horses, don't we? And if he comes up there on the snap against Lozzie and Bright Days and just blows them away, I'll enjoy to see it. I will. I'll lose loads of bets. So I don't mind. Um, but saying that, I couldn't take odds on about him. You know, it's just not in my DNA to take an horse that does have some questions to answer. I just couldn't do it, like, you know. And I think Brighter Days Ahead is a coming force. She's only 6. She couldn't have done any more this year. You can question the form and everything last time, but I mean, wow, it was some
Yeah.
performance, like, you know, and her graphs like that. She's coming, isn't she? And yeah, I hope she comes here. I hope we get to see it. You know, it'd be Jesus. If she goes to Mares, I think she'll almost get booed into the winners' enclosure. You know, I think people want to see it that much. Um, and Lossiemouth, I've got a soft spot for Lossiemouth. I know, so I've got a bit of bias with her, but I can't have this. She's not got the pace for 2 miles. I think she has. As
Yeah.
I mentioned last week, I think Willie's horses at Christmas, I just don't think they can cope with that sort of test of speed. I think, you know, we saw in the Triumph last year, she won in the International, that 2 mile Cheltenham. She looked to have plenty of speed there. She's got the gears, I think. I think with Lossiemouth, she's never beat like a grade one 2 mile hurdler. So it's not if she's got the speed to me, is she good enough? And that we
Yeah.
don't know, like, you know, she might not be good enough. She might. I accept that. But I do think she's got the pace, like, you know.
Well, I actually haven't got any bets in this. Um, I would love Constitution Hill to win because of all the stick Nicky and all that hard for the last season when he didn't get there, and the A1 paper and all that sort of stuff. But I honestly, I want to see him win. I'd love to see him win and to show all the doubters wrong.
Yeah.
And if this was last year's champion hurdle, I'd be far more confident. It's just that he's got two serious rivals and he's given them weight as well. I don't rate Stick Man. I've always said that. I've got a lot of stick for it, but he can beat Winter Fog and Fields Doodity, but I honestly think that I don't think he'll win the champion. He's going to make me look real stupid if he does, but I don't see him turning the form with Brighter Days Ahead, and I think Lossiemouth's better than him. So I think it's the two mares against Constitution Hill. Having no money on it, I'd love to see him win, but I have a feeling one of them might turn him over.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope we get to see it anyway. I hope we get to see that race, like, you know, and it'll be a good
Yeah,
race, whatever. But
yeah, it would be great. Uh, yeah, I mean, like what she did at Christmas, Brighter Days Ahead was special. Um, that was that is the sort of thing you put up a big performance like that early in the season. Can you do it again? I know she's had a big break, but can she do it again? Lossiemouth, I think. I always thought at Christmas she was going to get closer in the champion hurdle because I don't think she liked Kempton at all.
mm,
So, yeah, I don't really have a financial position on it. I'd like to see him win, and I think it'll be better if I don't have a financial position on it. I can enjoy it then.
yeah.
I can just watch it and see who's the best. Whereas
Do,
if
do you do that, Mark? Do you bet in every race at Cheltenham, or do you sit some
no,
out?
no, I'll sit a couple out. Now, when I say I don't have a horse in it, I did back Amsterdam at 40s,
Yeah.
but he ain't running. So,
Yeah.
and that was only because of the price. But yeah, I don't set out many, but yeah, I don't think I'll have a bet in this one. I'll leave it.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. I'll I'd say a sporting selection for me would be Lossiemouth here, you know.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to take your 14 to one loss in this,
Yeah, yeah.
but the prices are not really wanting to play any of them now.
Yeah. I'm hoping she might be played last of all, like at the big three. And yeah,
If we weren't on a time constraint, I'd say to you, who do you think Townend's going to ride?
Jesus. I don't know. If you listen to what everybody said, all the connections, he's going to ride State, man. Yeah, that baffles me. It does, but I don't know. Um, I
I
just,
honestly thought he rode State Man last time, knowing he was going to get beat. And then he could say, right, well, I'm getting on Lossiemouth now because Lossiemouth's better than him. And Lossiemouth fell. Now he can't say that. He's got no excuse not to ride State Man. But I think he knows in his heart he's on the one that ain't going to win if he rides State Man. So,
yeah, I can see that, and yeah, yeah, I can see that. Right, I think we've got just under 10 minutes now, then to sum
right.
up the rest of the races.
Right. Well, you
Which
can forget the Boodles for me. I've got no opinion in it at all.
yeah, I'm the same really. I keep having a quick look, but yeah, I'd be the same. So we can leave the Boodles. The Ultima. Have you got any views there yet? Or
I wonder if the handbrake might come off Johnny Who
yeah,
for JP. I just think he's going to have a big handicap festival. Whether he'll win other races, I don't know, but he'll have a big, big festival of handicappers. Johnny Who, but he can't jump. He, so he's hard to have a bet on. I looked at Sequestered, the one that was second year back to normal. I thought
yeah,
he ran a good race. I think they sort of gave up a little bit once they knew he couldn't win in that
yeah.
three
But
miler.
he
So
were thrown in that day, weren't he? I think back to normal. I think maybe sort of grade three type class.
yeah,
He could be a graded class 3 miler. I think
so
that.
I did.
Yeah,
I
I've
looked
been
at
wanting to like
Sequestered.
sequestered too, but it's had 2 poor runs at Cheltenham. It's a bit off-putting.
Yes, yeah, he ran the pipe last year and was poor. Um, yeah, the Ultima's a race that I'm not good in at all. Everyone else seems to find this novice that's going to win, and I'm never the one that finds it. So, and I found it this year, and then the Roko's running today. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been all over you, Roko. So
so
the last,
yeah, I wouldn't have much opinion on the Ultima. The other race I do have an opinion, but I don't have an opinion in the Ultima. What about you? You've got the changing man.
I had a bit of double figures for changing, man. He just looks quite obvious there. He's like off 140. I think there's always been a good horse in there, and we've not seen it. And maybe he's just coming now. I know the race fell apart last time, but I like how he did it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of twos there in this form. I think he'll be bang there at the bottom of the hill if he can get it done from there to the line. I don't know.
Mhm.
But I think he'll run a big race and he's going to go off one of the favourites. So I might kind of trade that position out a little bit, you know, um, depending how I feel, I mean, I can look at these races and feel different tomorrow to what I feel today, like.
Yeah,
But no, I, I haven't put him up on my videos yet, and there's a reason for that. I'm just not really that solid on the race yet. But
yeah,
I think the other ones, then the one we probably like the best. I think we've got about 5 minutes more. Is this 3 mile 6 novice handicap?
yeah. I, I I'm, I'm a bit fuming about now is the hour. I thought this was going to be my Kim Muir horse had it all sorted, and then Keith Donoghue went and got a bit too close last time out. Then 125 became 135, and then with a bit of talks, it's 139. I still think he's got a amazing chance in this, but will the ground be soft enough? Because that's a bit of a worry for me. I think the most solid horse and the horse that probably, if someone said to me now, what's the best bet Tuesday, I would probably say Transmission 9 to 1 each way. I wouldn't say it's definitely going to win, but I think it's got decent chance of winning. Can't see it being out the 4. I think it's been laid out for the race all season. If and I know the ground will be the worst on the Tuesday. Should the weather stay good all week, I think they'll water as much as they can
Yeah,
for Tuesday to keep it good for up till Friday. So now is the hour. Could get his ground. I think if he gets his ground, I think he could go off 7-4,
yeah,
2-1.
yeah.
It's hard to say how many runners you get, isn't it?
Yeah, it
But
is. It's a new race, and it's
but all in, I would think transmission each way. But I have this. And now is the hour has been absolutely cemented to the floor all season. He's not
yeah,
tried a jot once this season yet. This is the handbrake coming off now.
yeah.
So he could be like Percival the Galwa was for you at Christmas or back to normal was. And you could just see, I don't know, in this handicap, could they put Cornerstone Walsh on to get more weight off as well?
Uh, yeah, they could do. Yeah. I
So
don't know.
yeah.
Keith might have something to say about that, but
I know, but like Gavin wants to win. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he could do, and he's a fine jockey, and yeah, we might have to just we might end up starting day 2. We're talking a little bit more about this. I think the 3 horses are the 3 at the front of the market there in this one.
yeah.
I do. And I think, yeah, I totally agree. I think transmission, you can't kick him out of the frame. I like Haiti Colors as well. I do think they've maybe missed a trick with Haiti Colors when I look at this Ultima. I just think rather than give the run over hurdles last time, if they'd have took another chase, even if they'd have won and gone up another 5, I think you see Haiti Colors in that Ultima off 140, I'd have been all over him. I think the Ultima might be the easier race considering.
Is he in it? No.
No, no, I don't think
No.
so. No, no.
No.
So yeah, I do, but I think he could win this, and he's going to run a big race. But I do think the Cromwell horse, yeah, now is the hour. That run last time, it just took your eye out, didn't it? He jumped and travelled. He kept pulling it back, and I know I know you didn't like the ride, but I thought he did all right not to win on it. Like he had to put him in close to the last 2 there, just
Oh yeah,
you
he's
know,
just basically put him into the bottom to stop his momentum, so he couldn't,
yeah.
because he knew he was going to win. I think
And
if he
he
jumped those 2 well, he was going to win. He couldn't have held it. I don't think.
Gavin, he just don't miss, does he? With these, not very often. Like
No.
they get backed and they stay backed, don't they? Right, we've got about a minute left, so we'll wrap it up there then. And yeah, and that's day 1 then.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be
Have you got
back for
anything?
day 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And anything you want to say right at the end or anything?
No, I think like transmission would be my best each way bet of the day, and I wouldn't have a win bet for Tuesday. I don't think.
No. Yeah. I think the first one, Kopi De Bourgh, yeah. I think you'll get better than evens, and I think you'll get us off to a good start, Right. Okay then. So we'll see you soon for day 2. Okay.